Okay, fourth grade math students, it's time for chapter 11, mid-review. We're going to go over the lessons that brought us up to this point. Page 619, you'll find the reviews on page 619 and 620. So let's just go through these one by one. Practice what we've learned. We see a list of vocabulary words over there. Clockwise, counterclockwise, degree, its symbol, and the protractor we talked about yesterday. So we want to choose the best term from the box. A unit used to measure an angle is called, the unit of measure for angles is called a degree. Number 2, blank is the opposite of the direction in which the hands of the clock move. Well, the hands of a clock move clockwise, so the opposite would be counterclockwise. Number 3, a blank is a tool for measuring the size of an angle. And that tool we learned yesterday about was the protractor. Problems number 4, 5, 6, and 7. We need to tell whether the angle on the circle shows a fraction of that circle at 1/4, 1/2, or 3/4 of a full turn clockwise or counterclockwise. And we determine the clockwise and counterclockwise by looking at the arrow that's indicated in each circle. So number 4, that's 1/4 of the way around a circle. It's moving clockwise. Number 5 is halfway around the circle, and it's moving counterclockwise. Notice the line of the rays going in either direction is straight. That's a straight angle, 180 degrees, so half of the circle. Number 6 is 3/4, and it's indicated by the arrow as 3/4 of that circle clockwise. And number 7, that shows a complete full turn. Number 8 and 9, it says, tell the measure of the angle in degrees. So it's 100 of the 360 degrees. So the angle would be 100 degrees. Number 9, it's showing 1/12 of the circle. So it doesn't give you any other clues than that. You know, a circle is 360 degrees, and we want 1/12 of it. So we do the division, and it tells us that 1/12 of 360 degrees would be 30 degrees. Let's go to the next page. All right, now we're going to do a little clockwork here. Number 12. Philip watched a beach ball volley game, and he's saying from 1:45 p.m. to 2 o'clock. So 1:45 to 2 o'clock. Here's our clock. So from 1:45, so we started here and moved to 2 o'clock. How many minutes did the minute hand turn? Well, there are 60 minutes in an hour, and if it moved 1/4 of the hour, it'd be 1/4 of 60 minutes. You could go 60 minutes divided by 4. Tells you 15 minutes. Or you could do 2 o'clock minus 1:45. And it also will give you 15 minutes. So there's 2 ways that you can come to the conclusion, or you could just take your pencil and count each minute, and you would discover 15 minutes. 15 minutes is 1/4 of an hour, and that's how much time passed. Number 13, what angle does the piece of pie form? Well, the piece of pie that's being illustrated there is half. And so if it's half of a circle, we know the circle is 360 degrees. Half of that circle is 180 degrees. Number 14, we've got an angle there, TBC. And it's asking you to put a protractor on that to determine what that angle is. And so to quickly review, take your protractor, you set the center point right on the vertex, line the bottom line straight up with the bottom line, and in this particular drawing that I put on the board, as I read up the scale here, I see 2 numbers. I see the number 120 and I see the number 60 on the protractor, 120 and 60. And those are degree measurements. Now, which scale do I use? Well, you just got to think a bit. This angle is an acute angle. And because it's an acute angle, we know that it's going to be less than 90 degrees. 90 degrees would be like so. So it's less than 90, so obviously the number 120 doesn't work. The number 60 does. Now I'm going to actually check the book here and determine what the angle in the book actually is. And I'm going to discover that the picture I drew on the board was exactly what it was in the book, 60 degrees. So if you have a protractor, you can go ahead and check that. And just remember, if the line isn't big enough, just take a ruler or a straight edge or something and extend the line so that you see where it crosses the number on the protractor. Last but not least, problem number 15. There's always a word problem. Number 15, Matt cut a circle into 8 equal sections. All right, so Matt has got a circle, and he cut it into 8 equal sections. All right, there's my circle with 8 equal sections. He drew an angle that measures the same as the total measure of 3 of the sections in the circle. So he drew an angle the same as 3 of the sections of this circle. So let's take this section, and this section. Now, because they're all equal, it doesn't matter what 3 sections you take. So what we're looking at then is an angle that goes from here to here. So there's our angle. So our angle looks like this. Now, that would be our 90-degree angle, wouldn't it? We know that this is greater than 90, so this is an obtuse. It's an obtuse angle. It's greater than 90 degrees. And what is the measurement of that angle? Well, I don't know what the measurement is, but I can figure it out. And you know how? There are 360 degrees in a circle, right? And we cut it into 8 pieces, so let's divide it by 8. 8 goes into 36. So we got 4 is 32, and then 40. So each one of those angles, each one of these is 45 degrees. So if each one of them is 45 degrees, we figured that out by doing the math to discover what one of those sections would measure. So if we take 3 of them, it would be 45 plus 45 plus 45, which is 135 degrees. Got it? Or 3 times 45. So this angle is 135 degrees. And we know it's greater than 90 because it's an obtuse angle. So we know it's going to be a number bigger than 90. So that's your first clue. Do the math. The answer is 135 degrees. Now, tomorrow we'll go to lesson 11.4 and we'll keep on working through angles and measurement of them. Until then, take care, stay safe, stay out of trouble, and be kind.